this social media hack made me 1,000 times more productive than anything else in my life. It was more productive than time management software. It was more productive than daily planner. And here is what it is. I'm going to cut right to the chase. Later in this video, I'm also going to give you a confession about my social media viewing habits, so stick around for that. It's coming later on in the video. Here's that social media hack that made me 1,000 times more productive. It is simply to just unfollow the accounts that do not support your long-term goals. The person that you're trying to become, the thing that you're trying to accomplish, if there are accounts that are consuming your time and your attention when you're trying to get things done, don't do it. Unfollow them. I get that there is a need for social media for entertainment throughout the day, for inspiration throughout the day. But here's the thing. I often found myself opening social media when I was focusing on a certain task that I was trying to get done. If it was at my old job and I had a task that I wanted to get done, but I didn't really like doing it, I would often distract myself on social media because I'd see that someone posted a new thing, or even I would just open it to go browse, because that is how the procrastination mind works. We associate that distractive thing with something that's going to give us more value, because give us a little dopamine release. Because if we get to see a funny video of a cat, or we see a beautiful person, a model on Instagram, or we see a snowboarder shredding a gnarly line even. I love snowboarding or paragliding, and I used to go there and watch these things instead of getting my task done. And then I would complain about how long it took to get that task done. And then I'd complain about how there was not enough time to do the things I wanted to do in my free time to get them done. Like I'm writing a book right now. It's my creative memoir about all my creative phases and what I learned. And yeah, I didn't feel like I had enough time for writing, but then I'd go ahead and look at my work, and it's like sometimes things would take longer than they needed to, or it would deplete my mental and emotional energy because I was going to social media all the time just for a quick dopamine boost in the middle of a task. A lot of those tasks I could knock out in just seconds. Oh, sorry, not seconds, that's an exaggeration, but knock them out in minutes, definitely less than an hour. And instead, I would take much longer than that because I was like, oh, this sucks. I want to go and see something on social media. I want to see a paraglider fly something cool. Or I want to see Nature is Metal and watch a lion kill and eat a giraffe that's while it's still alive, pulling its guts out while it's still alive. There's nothing wrong with watching social media or watching content online. But the problem arises when we don't do it intentionally, when we go there for a distraction from our tasks at hand. It's going to drain our energy. And we need to be able to have the due diligence to recognize ourselves when we're falling for this temptation, and then just don't do it. Cut it out. Find times in our day in order to consume social media content intentionally. But when you start to think in this mindset, you start to realize what is actually not that important. Here's my confession about social media, and I didn't understand this for the longest time about why I was so unproductive, why I couldn't get everything done that I wanted to in a day. I used to follow a bunch of pretty much any hot woman on Instagram I'd follow. I'd be like, oh, I want to see more of this. This is hot. And then the algorithm thought he likes hot women. So they sent me more, and I followed more and more of them. And this was years ago, okay, right? I'd follow more and more of them, but then I'd find myself seeking distraction by just going on Instagram to browse whatever, but like 75% of it was probably hot women. They didn't provide any value to my personal goals, right? To the person who I was, with the things that I was interested in. A lot of them were hanging out in cities, and I'm not such a big city person. I live in the mountains. Nothing wrong with cities, but they also were like into sports drinks or fancy cars, or it didn't matter. Like I followed them because they're hot, but truth be told, that didn't support my goals. I'm into writing books. I'm into healing myself emotionally and manifesting my life vision. I'm into spirituality, and I'm into creativity and art and snowboarding and paragliding, and guaranteed 90% of those models that I followed weren't into any of those things, Why am I following them? It's literally just to get a quick dopamine boost. But then I found that those women too that I followed, that started to affect my personal life too, in my dating life. I started comparing real life to them, and that's not the real thing. Yeah, they might be hot, but I started to think over time, I started to realize they're not into the things that I'm into. Would we really have fun hanging out? No. They're not going to go snowboard some double black diamonds with me at Telluride. They're not going to want to go road trip in the car, drive 12 hours across the country to chase the next powder storm and go snowboarding. They're not going to want to go camp in the summer and cross a vast stretch of mountains. They're not going to want to talk about the philosophies that I'm writing about necessarily. You know, maybe they do, maybe, but I'm not going to meet them in real life. They have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're literally doing this to drive traffic to their online offers. Well, a lot of those were OnlyFans pages, or a lot of it too, they got money from sponsorships promoting different brands. They'd have affiliate links, or some of them had their own shops, right? Their own e-commerce stores. But I was the consumer. I was in the consumer mindset. They were in the creator mindset, the influencer mindset. They were using social media as a tool for something else, to accomplish another goal that benefited their life, that allowed them to live the life of their dreams, to travel the world, go do cool photo shoots in Greece, on an island in Greece, or something with one of the world's best OnlyFans model photographers. I don't know what it was, but you get what I'm saying. They were using it as a tool. I was using it as a way to consume, to distract myself from finding out my purpose. I was not writing. I was not trying to build an online business of my own. I was just consuming. That's just an example. There's a lot of other things on social media that I consumed that doesn't necessarily improve my life. Unfollow the accounts that don't serve your long-term purpose, your long-term vision of the life that you want to live. I like to follow musicians on TikTok. Sometimes I go there and watch it, but it's only when I'm intentionally consuming and I'm aware of what I'm doing. I'm aware that I'm taking a break and I'm not distracting myself from the task at hand. Maybe you finish your task and then you go and pick up your phone and you consume 1 to 2 minutes of something. Just browse through, see what you see. Maybe if you're following the right people, you're gonna see the stuff that matters. You're gonna get that inspirational quote, that inspirational message that's gonna guide you on the path that you're on. So I had this kind of cosmic download come about at the end of 2023. I had already unfollowed most of the models. There's 2 that I still follow because I really like their style, and their authentic self. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I unfollowed all the models, the vast majority except those 2, and I unfollowed a ton of other accounts that didn't serve my purpose. People that hadn't been posting in a while, I did unfollow them. Stuff that just didn't align with my values. And now when I do go to social media, I'm aware of when I go and why, but I'm getting more inspirational content in the algorithm because I unfollowed those accounts and now I only get inspirational stuff. I started following content creators of people that had a style that I vibed with, and I also started following people who talked about spirituality, manifestation, and healing yourself and getting in alignment with your truest self. And now when I log into social media, I get all this stuff that is very much aligned with my goals, with the person I want to become, stuff that inspires me to move forward, stuff that gives me actionable advice and tips that I can actually do, good reminders in order to keep being the person that I want to become, keep working on myself. So that is literally all there is to it. Just try to become a little more conscious about what you're consuming online and think about if it's important to you. Is it important to your long-term goals and the person that you want to become? If it's not, cut it out, unfollow, don't even worry about it. You're going to have other inspiring content that is going to improve your quality of life 1,000 times. If you start to try it out, let me know what happens to your productivity and your mindset. Let me know in the comments what happens, and that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.